The official process for declaring someone a saint is called canonization. Prior to the year 1234, the Catholic Church did not have a formal process as such. Usually martyrs and those recognized as holy were declared saints by the Church at the time of their deaths. Before the legalization of Christianity in the year 313 by Emperor Constantine, the tombs of martyrs like St. Peter were marked and kept as places for homage. The anniversaries of their deaths were remembered and placed on the local church calendar. After legalization, oftentimes basilicas or shrines were built over these tombs. As time went on, the Church saw the need to tighten the canonization process. Unfortunately, sometimes figures of legends were honored as saints. Once, the local church in Sweden canonized an imbibing monk who was killed in a drunken brawl, a hardly evidence of martyrdom. Therefore, in the year 1234, Pope Gregory IX established procedures to investigate the life of a candidate saint and any attributed miracles. In 1588, Pope Sixtus V entrusted the Congregation of Rites, later named the Congregation for the Causes of the Saints, to oversee the entire process. Beginning with Pope Urban VIII in 1634, various popes have revised and improved the norms and procedures for canonization. Today, the process proceeds as follows. When a person dies who has fame of sanctity or fame of martyrdom, the bishop of the diocese usually initiates the investigation. One element is whether any special favor or miracle has been granted through this candidate saint's intercession. The Church will also investigate the candidate's writings to see if they possess purity of doctrine, essentially nothing heretical or against the faith. All of this information is gathered and then a transumptum, a faithful copy, duly authenticated and sealed, is submitted to the Congregation for the Causes of the Saints. Once the cause is accepted by the congregation, further investigation is conducted. If the candidate was a martyr, the congregation determines whether he died for the faith and truly offered his life in a sacrifice of love for Christ and the Church. In other cases, the congregation examines to see if the candidate was motivated by a profound charity towards his neighbor and practiced the virtues in an exemplary manner and with heroism. Throughout this investigation, the general promoter of the faith, or devil's advocate, raises objections and doubts which must be resolved. Once a candidate is declared to have lived life with heroic virtue, he may be declared venerable. The next step is beatification. A martyr may be beatified and declared blessed by virtue of martyrdom itself. Otherwise, the candidate must be credited with a miracle. In verifying the miracle, the Church looks at whether God truly performed a miracle and whether the miracle was in response to the intercession of the candidate saint. Once beatified, the candidate saint may be venerated, but with restriction to a city, diocese, region, or religious family. Accordingly, the Pope would authorize a special prayer, mass, or proper divine office honoring the blessed. After beatification, another miracle is needed for canonization and the formal declaration of sainthood. Let's use the process in the canonization of Edith Stein as an example, a Carmelite nun who took the name Sister Teresa Benedicta of the Cross. Just a few highlights of her life. She was born in Breslau, Germany, studied at both the University of Breslau and the University of Göttingen, served as a teaching assistant for the great philosopher Edmund Husserl, and received her Doctor of Philosophy from the University of Freiburg in 1917. Wrestling with her Jewish faith and being drawn toward Catholicism, she was baptized and received into the Catholic Church on Jan 1, 1922. She taught in various capacities until the Nazi government prohibited all Jews from teaching in 1933. She entered the Carmelite monastery in Cologne, Germany in 1933, but transferred to the monastery in Echt, Holland in 1938 to protect the other sisters. Finally, on August 2, 1942, she was arrested by the Gestapo for being both a Catholic sister as well as of Jewish descent, transported to Auschwitz and gassed on August 9, 1942. Pope John Paul II beatified her on May 1, 1987, declaring her a martyr of the faith. Interestingly, when the sisters cleaned her cell at the monastery, they found a small picture with her handwriting on the back, which read, "I wish to offer my life as a sacrifice for the salvation of the Jews." Truly, she offered her life to the Lord. The miracle due to her intercession involves a young girl named Teresa Benedicta, who suffered in 1987 from a lethal dose of Tylenol, which crippled her liver functions. The little girl's condition continued to worsen. The daughter's father, a Melkite priest, sees two coincidences. First, he learned that his ordination date coincided with the date of Edith Stein's death. Second, after an intense study of her life and works, he and his wife named their newborn daughter Teresa Benedicta. After invoking the intercession of Saint Edith Teresa Benedicta, the little girl miraculously recovered. In 1998, the Sacred Congregation for the Causes of the Saints, after careful examination, determined that the cure defied any natural explanation and must be attributed to divine intervention through Saint Edith Teresa Benedicta. Since she was a martyr and now the intercessor for a miraculous cure, Pope John Paul II canonized her as a saint.